I don't even know how to stop this video. Hi guys, if you guys haven't told by the title, today we'll be doing a March wrap up. Here is some of the books that I've read, and I have some on my Kindle that I've read because I got the Kindle during this month, wherever it's down. This month's been quite a good reading month. I think I've read around 14-15 books, I can't remember. I think maybe around that much, and I can't wait to show you what I've read and what I thought of them and what I gave them in terms of ratings. So let's start. So the first one is The Final Offer by Lauren Asher. This one is a big bulky book. If you hadn't seen my previous wrap-ups, I've read 1 and 2, the fine print and terms and conditions. So Final Offer obviously features Callahan, who's the last brother. He's actually the middle child, but there's like loads of gossip around him of being like an athlete and a brat, like a trust fund brat, like all he cares about money. And obviously, if you guys don't know the books, each of them have something that they have to do that's part of their granddad's will, and in order to get a share in the company they have to do this thing basically in order to get the shares and kind of overthrow their dad. So Callahan, his is basically to go steakhouse to sell it and to spend a 1 month living there, but it's not as easy as he thinks, because when he gets there he meets Alana, who he was best friends with, and he like broke her heart, and she hadn't seen her for 6 years, so he didn't know that she also owns a part of this house, so he has to go through her in order to sell it as well, and they kind of just fall in love again. They're raising daughter. So yeah. This book was so good. It made me cry, it made me laugh, the smut scenes were absolutely amazing. This would be the strong second one after Terms and Conditions, because I just love Terms and Conditions. Yeah, as you guys see, I have loads of annotations of the colours. Green is something funny, yellow is like happy moments that just made me smile, pink is for smut, and then purple is like things that made me cry. So yeah, those are the bits that I have. So I would give this book a 4. I think a 4.5 for this book, because obviously term and conditions I'll give a 5, and then I think fine print I'll give it a 4. This one definitely probably a 4.5 or maybe 4.25. But yeah, this was such a good book. Let's go to the next one. Next was The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. So obviously this book into a movie which I've already watched, and obviously I bought this book to do my assignment on it. I love this book so well. It's so good. It's like dives into so much more detail than the movie, which I love. I feel like the movie didn't miss out important scenes, but it's a really good book. It's a change of scenery of just romance and everything. I just like the fact that it deals with race and stuff like that. I'm hoping to buy more books that deal with these types of stuff. I have the book called The Colour Purple, which I really want to read this month. So yeah, that's that one. I would give this one, obviously my romance are my favourite one, so I'd probably give this one a 3.5, but still amazing book. If I wasn't a romance lover, I would have definitely given this maybe like a 4.5, but I definitely think that I give 3.5 just because it's not my cup of tea, but I am trying to get into more books that talk about this type of stuff. The next one is Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. This book, obviously this book I read before I was doing the annotation kind of thing, so I didn't annotate all the books because I didn't have time to, I just couldn't be asked. This one, oh my god, the smut in this, man, it made me blush. I'm not gonna lie, it made me blush when I was reading it. I was like, oh, it was spicy, it was everything it needed to give. I loved their little friendly competition between each other. It was just a pleasant read. I might have read this in like 2 days. I'd probably give this one maybe a 3.5, because I don't think it had much to it compared to some of the other storylines, but I love this book and it was really good. Next, it ends with Us. If you guys haven't seen it all before, or you haven't watched it, I did a video on this book, rated it, and I like read it myself and spoke about if it was worth its hype, and I was pleasantly surprised it was. I just love this book. Lily, she owns my heart. She is such a diamond, and the ending of this book, I just need to say it again, the ending of this book, I went on and highlighted it. My mother went through it, I went through it. I'd be damned if I let my daughter to go through it. It stops here with me and you. It ends with us. Originally, I thought it'd be in terms of like Atlas and Lily, in terms of it ends with us, that's like the moral of it, but it's a child, like her seeing her daughters made her realise that the stuff that she went through, her mother went through, her daughter's not going to go through that, and that it ends with them. And that book was amazing. I think I gave this one a 4.5. I can't remember, or maybe it was 5 stars, I can't remember. This was so early on in the month, like I read it so early on, I don't even know. But if you want to see what I did say about it, go watch the videos. One is It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. This book, oh, again, another book that just made my heart pitter patter. Like the steaminess, the like possessiveness of this man, like, oh, of this man is just amazing. Like, Brandon owns my heart. Same with Pippa. Like, I absolutely love Pippa. She is so misunderstood, and she's just an amazing woman. Once she like comes up the show, and Brandon, he brings that out in her. He really does. Because at first he's very skeptical of her, but then he realizes how amazing she is, and he kind of pushes her to bring out that side of her. And like, he is so possessive over her. Oh my lord, when he decided that she was the one for him, he was like, right, no one else is having you, mate. You're mine, and I'll do anything for you. Like when she kept saying that she was hurting her forehead from wake up because she's at the bottom bunk, he got someone to go and fix it. Like, what? A man needs to do that. If you're not doing that, that's the bare minimum. Bruh, you're out the window. There's just so many cute things that he did, like doing the outside garden. 10 out of 10. So I would definitely give this book a strong like 4.75. I think I won't give it 5 stars just because, I don't know, I feel like it could have added more depth to it. It wasn't one that I was like, oh gosh, it's my favourite one, compared to like, it didn't hit all the emotions, if that made sense. But it was amazing. And as I was reading this book, I came across her sister. Her sister, Pippa's sister, I think her sister's Hannah or something. Is her sister called Hannah? Yeah, Hannah. Throughout this book, I was like, Hannah needs to have her own storyline. She needs to have her own storyline. Has anyone had that when they're reading a book and there's a side character where you're like, they need their own main character story because they're just too good? And with Hannah, she was that not misunderstood, but she was a very quiet sister. Obviously Pippa was very glamorous compared to her, and she needed her own storyline. And I was pleasantly surprised to realise that the book that I had recently purchased was the second book. And this one was based on Fox and Hannah's story. So obviously in It Happened One Summer, it hinted at them too, that a possibility with them, but they kind of just remained friends because obviously Hannah decided to move back to LA, I think it was, from that. Hook, Line and Sinker by Tessa Bailey as well is basically Hannah needs to go back into the town because she's shooting a film. Yeah, she's shooting a film, and she's obviously fancies the director of it, so she's trying to get in his good books, and she recommends Westport. So she just says, oh, we should go to Westport to do it, and she has a dream of being like the music kind of coordinator of the movies, but she's very unsure. Like, I just love her because she has a song for everything. Like, every single mood for someone, like, she'll give them a song that best suits them or best suits how they're feeling. And for me, that's Chef's Kiss. If I had a friend that did that, I would love her to the end of the world, because books, music, my 2 favourite things. Yeah, that was really good. And then obviously she has to share Fox's bedroom. She needs a bedroom. And obviously Pippa and Brandon have his parents over, so she asks Fox because they become friends, because while she was back home, them two were like texting each other and they became like friendship. Fox, she obviously goes to live with him, and it's like best friends to lovers kind of things, because at first they weren't really friends, but then by this time of the book they're friends to lovers. I just love Fox. These 2 boys, Brandon and Fox together, but yeah, these 2 are just amazing. Like, yeah, and like, it's so sad for why he thinks that he doesn't deserve her. Like, obviously he just tried to push her away and push away his feelings for her, but it was so good to hear about why he did that in the first place. Obviously those are the only bits that I've kind of highlighted, but yeah, this one was really good as well. I would give this one probably a 4 stars, just because I still did love the first book better, but I was obsessed with Hannah, and I was like, I was not disappointed in terms of her own storyline. Her story was just amazing. This one is King of Wrath. This is by my lovely Anna Hugh. Obviously she has the Twister series, which I absolutely adore. Those were kind of the first TikTok books that I got into. This King of Wrath, I think I've obviously mentioned, you guys already know what it's about because I mentioned it in my TBR for this month, but these two together were amazing. Like, I'm trying to sometimes I forget what happens to these books when I don't annotate them, but this book was really good. I can't remember the little things. As I'm speaking, I'm kind of remembering stuff, but apart from that, I can't. But I would give this 4 stars, maybe even 3.75. I can't wait to read the next one for that. I think with me, I like the fact that when you finish one book and you have the next book in the series, it's just amazing. So I hate it when I have to wait for the next one. It really makes me sad. Time to do what I read on my Kindle. I got the Kindle Paperwhite for my birthday. My birthday was in February, but it was a late birthday present. Let's ignore that. And since I've gotten this has helped me out my book slump, because obviously with these books, I read so many books this month that I kind of got into a book slump towards the end of it. Because The King of Wrath, it was such a good book, but it was missing something for me. So when I got my Kindle, it kind of made me want to read, because even though I love the feel of physical books, I can read a lot quicker on the Kindle. Like, I've gone through about 10 books since I've gotten this, just because of how fast I can read it compared to a physical copy. Also the fact that I can read it in bed, so I can just turn down the brightness. But I just have a clear case like this. I have some stickers from Etsy. I'm going to look down below where I got it from. And then I just have this little pop socket that's like fluffy, that also has like a little smiley face that I also got on Etsy, so I'll link them down below. This is the front of it. I just picked the option. You can have an option where you can have the books that you're currently reading showing, but obviously some of the covers of these books that I read are very risky, and I don't really think my dad would be like, why is there a naked man on your screen? So that is why it's just like that. And then you literally just wake it up. So in terms of the books that I've already read, the first series that I read this month was Tarnished Empire by, I think it was like Shane Rose or something like that. But these were good. They were just filled with smart, I'm not gonna lie. They don't really have much storyline, so I'd probably give these probably like a 3 stars. But yeah, I still read them, so that's 2 more books. So I'm trying to keep count, but it's so hard. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I have 7 books that I read in person, and then add these 2, so that's 9. And then the next series I read was called Empire. So there's 3. There's Empire of Desire, Empire of Sin, and Empire of Lust. I think one was like a dad's best friend's trope, arranged marriage, and then another one was chance romance. So it was based off the parents, because in the first one, where it's the dad's best friend, the main character, the female, her dad, and she thought that her mum like neglected her, but then it found out that the mum was like really young when she gave birth to her, that her auntie and uncle actually like took the baby from her and told her that her baby died and gave it to the dad. Basically second chance romance, because the dad went from hating her to kind of like loving her. Same with her, like she kind of hates him because he's not allowing her to have a relationship with her daughter. So it's enemy to the lovers plus second chance romance, but then it's also adults, because they're like in their, obviously they're parents, but they're young parents, so they're not like in their 50s or anything. They're like 30s still, so it's not old. And then the third one, I think it was just like one of her friends has like a secret identity or something like that, and like the guy that she slept with is also turns out to be her boss. So there's stuff in terms of that. But yeah, these were all good. I'd probably give these maybe 3.5, maybe 4. They weren't the best books, they're just really good for smart, and you know. So that's another 3, so that is 12 books. But like with these books, I'm quite glad that I read them on my Kindle because they were for free. Like I don't think I would have bought them. Also read Red Thorns by Tina Kent, the same author that did the 3 series. Tina Thorns, I don't even know what Red Thorns. Oh, it's a dark new adult romance. I think he was like, one of them I read was like a college romance, but the guy was like really freaky and like really mysterious and really dark. Whoa! That is very different to usual college romance. It's just usually like a jock that in love with like the least popular girl or like vice versa. But this one was like got very dark in terms of the stuff that he liked. Like it was very kinky. So yeah, I enjoyed that. So that's 13 books. And then I think that might have been it. I think the rest I've read this month. I don't know if any of you guys are going to recognise these books, but I kind of just found the books that had the highest ratings because for some reason I don't really like reading books that don't have much ratings because I'm a bit concerned of how good it is. I think that's all I've read. I think there's about 14 books. I can't even remember. But yeah, those are all the books that I've read. Pretty good month despite my reading slump towards the end. But this month I'm trying to get back in and finish the books that are on my physical TBR. Obviously I have read books that aren't on my TBR already on my Kindle, but I need to start reading the ones physically, so I'm going to do that in another video. But I hope you guys enjoyed listening to this video and watching it, but please like and subscribe. This video and my TBR should be coming out around the same time, so go and watch both of them together, and I hope everyone has a good day, and I'll see you guys in my next video.